The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
For the first time since Haason Reddick requested a trade, Joe Douglas spoke with members of the Jets beat and addressed the situation. What did JD say? We'll talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
There goes my hero.
Oh,
As he goes.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Here we go as maniacs. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We talk Jets each and every day, Monday through Friday, twice a day, Saturdays and Sundays as well. It is, of course, the number one place for New York Jets talk. It is the Jake Asman YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button and like this video before we get started. Reminder to RSVP for our Monday Night Football watch party at T-Squared Social. If you're coming out, over 200 of you have already RSVP'd. This is going to be insane. T-Squared Social, Midtown Manhattan, Monday, September 9th. Party starts at 7, kickoff just after 8. Let's go, baby. Jets, 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 Jets. All right, Joe Douglas speaking for his annual press conference before the season starts. Now we don't hear from JD until the bye week. So this is the last time we hear from Joe Douglas until the Jets bye week. So the topic of conversation was mostly about Haason Reddick, and I put together 3 of Joe Douglas's answers to various questions about Haason. So this was Joe Douglas moments ago addressing the latest with the Jets pass rusher.
So where do things stand with Haason Reddick right now?
Nothing's changed from our end. Obviously, a ton of respect for Haason and awaiting his arrival, and looking forward to when he does. He's going to be welcomed with open arms.
Do you expect him to be here before the opener?
I can't lay out any expectations right now, but when he does arrive, we're all going to be excited.
How would you describe the communication with him and his team?
I would say clear and direct from the beginning, and I have a lot of respect for the agent as well. Again, the ball's in their court, and whenever he's ready to come here, again, we can't wait to have.
Why didn't you renegotiate the contract before executing the trade?
Well, I mean, in simple terms, we did talk about an extension once one wasn't agreed upon. We had the conversation and we felt good about making the trade. And so, obviously came here, reported, had a great day here, and again, we're just waiting his arrival.
Do you feel like there can't renege on a verbal agreement to play under his existing contract?
I'd say that again, from our standpoint, we've been really clear and direct with our communication, and again, a lot of respect for the agent, a lot of respect for the player, and I have faith that this will all get resolved.
So that last part, I think, is the key takeaway here, Jet fans. he didn't want to blast Haason Reddick or Haason Reddick's agent. But when I think it was Rich Cimini asked him the question, hey, did Haason Reddick's camp renege on a verbal agreement that he was going to be at camp? He talked around it. I think that tells you a lot. That's why, if you noticed, the Jets, who have dealt with a couple trade requests in the Joe Douglas tenure and never put out statements, ever. Not when Jamal Adams requested the trade, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, Zach Wilson, etc. But when Reddick did it, they went right away, scorched earth with that statement saying, we are not trading Haason Reddick. We expect Haason Reddick to be at camp, and he is subject to CBA fines for every day he misses. Douglas told you a lot with that last answer there. The Jets feel like they had it clear and direct to the Reddick camp. They made it clear and very direct to the Reddick camp. You show up, and then we could talk about your contract. You don't show up, it's a non-starter. And the Jets, to this point, have still taken that stance. It also tells you when he acknowledges that he has not spoke to Haason Reddick directly or his agents directly, that they're nowhere close right now. Now, this could change, though, because we talked about on the show next week, that's when it starts to get real in regards to Haason Reddick potentially missing time of regular season games, which for him means big money game checks. That's where the real money starts. These fines right now, yes, they add up. Yes, it's significant. But Haason Reddick's salary for this year is $14.5 million. Divide that by 18 weeks. That's what he's sacrificing each week he is not there. And I still think there's a strong chance he shows up next Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever that official deadline is, so we can at least get his game check for week one. Does that mean he plays week one? I'm not so sure. I don't know what type of shape he's in. I don't know if the Jets would feel comfortable throwing him out there if he doesn't really know the system, right? This is not Revis in 2009 where he's coming off one of the greatest seasons ever and going into 2010. Darrelle Revis' job in the Rex defense was simple. Go follow the best receiver on the field. A little different with Reddick. Even though his job is to still get the quarterback, there's still a lot of things that go into it. It's not like he's been in this system. So he could show up next week, and I don't know if that necessarily means he's playing week one. But I think he could show up next week to at least get paid because I think he's gotten some terrible advice from his agents. I do. I think Haason Reddick is underpaid. There are not 18 better defensive edges than Haason Reddick in football. They're not. There just isn't. I think Haason Reddick could have gotten more money from the Jets if he had shown up and been at camp. And I think he made a huge mistake not doing what Brandon Ayuk has done in San Fran. Do a hold in, so at least you don't get fined. You can at least be around your teammates. And teammates won't care if he's not playing. They understand it's a business. But because Haason Reddick has never played for the Jets before, he doesn't know any of his teammates. I think he has been given horrendous advice to not show up to one Jets drive. Because the Jets could just operate like, if he's here, great. If he's not, I mean, we've been without him all offseason. Will McDonald has taken all the reps in his spot. Michael Clemens has taken all the reps in his spot. Look how good Tack McKinley's looked. Oh, look, we just added 3 UDFA defensive linemen to our team. We're fine. That's how the Jets feel. And you know what? There's something to it because I got news for you. Well, Haason Reddick makes them a much better defense, right? Let's not diminish how good of a player this guy is. They're going to be a top 5 defense with or without him, in my opinion. I believe that. Playing with more leads, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, with Breece Hall out there without stacked boxes, long sustained drives so the defense is fresh. The Jets might be thinking, hey, we'll go and win week one, and then where's Reddick's leverage? I think Haason Reddick only gains some sort of leverage if a couple things happen. One, the Jets just get no pass rush on Monday Night Football. But even then, I don't know if it really moves the needle as much as some think. Because then they play Will Levis and the Titans week 2, Jacoby Brissett for now, and the Patriots in week 3, Bo Nix and the Broncos week 4, and Sam Darnold and the Vikings week 5. This team's starting 4-1. God willing, there's no catastrophic injuries to Aaron Rodgers and other stars. Knock on wood. So I don't know if it moves the needle that much if the Jets lose a non-conference game to a team that was in the Super Bowl last year. No one's going to pick them, even though the betting line's going the other way. No one thinks the Jets are going to win. But I got news for you. They very well might. But if they don't, okay, non-conference game, go take care of business. I don't know if it moves the needle. What can move the needle, though, is if, God forbid, there's an injury to Quinnen Williams or Jermaine Johnson, then, okay, maybe there's something there. But I think when you look at where we are right now, Douglas saying the words, the ball is in their court, that's the right stance because the Jets have all the leverage. They do. I've criticized this GM for making this deal without a contract in place, right? I don't think Joe Douglas gets the benefit of the doubt for a situation that like we've never seen happen before. That said, now that we're here, the stance he and the Jets are taking is the right one. You can't change the past. The past, if I was running the Jets, Bryce Huff would be a Jet right now. Jadeveon Clowney would have been signed for more than 1 year, $12 million that he got in Carolina, so I don't have to deal with this headache. So it is what it is. What happened to lead us to this point? But from this point on, Douglas is I believe, taking the right approach here. Now, if Reddick does show up, do I think the Jets would maybe rework his contract a little bit? Give him some incentives where he could make some money. Maybe they give him a pay increase just to basically negate some of the training camp fines he's dealt with. I could see that happening. And you could say, oh, screw him. Don't do that. I think you got to think bigger picture. You want this guy to come in and feel like it wasn't for naught that he didn't show up all summer. You want this guy to come in and be excited to be here because then you get the best out of him. And you could say, well, Jake, he's got to be motivated to go out there and he's got to, play well to get paid. And yeah, all that is true. But there's still a human side of all this, If he's not comfortable in his work environment playing for his bosses, is he going to be at his best? I mean, put yourself in your shoes in life. How'd you perform at your job if you didn't love the people you were working with or your bosses? So there's a way to give him something so at least he doesn't lose the money he lost in fines, or you put some incentives in there like what the Browns just did for Amari Cooper, where he can make some more money and say, hey, we're not going to franchise tag you, so you'll be an unrestricted free agent after this year and someone will pay you if it's not us. Then I think you still do that. But he's got to show up next week for any of this to happen. And I think the Jets' stance right now is the right one. He has no leverage. His agents here are giving him terrible advice because this is not a typical holdout, as I was talking about. A typical holdout is the guy knows the players on the roster. He's one of your better players. The coaches love him. And teammates are like, we need this guy. The Jets don't know him. They're like, all right. CJ Mosley's the captain of the team. He said, I was looking forward to meeting him when he showed up. I'd never spoken to him. Aaron Rodgers said, hey, I texted with him after he signed, but that was it. These guys aren't worried about Haason Reddick. They're worried about the guys who are there. Same with the head coach. It's the right stance. And this team, if there's one thing they've proven, they could coach the living you-know-what out of defense and the defensive line. So while I want Haason Reddick, and he clearly will make this Jets football team a better defense, I think they're the best defense in football with Haason Reddick. How about that? But to me, they're still in the top 5 without him. So I don't think the Jets are panicking here. And I don't think they're panicking if they lose week 1 without Reddick. I really don't. The only way things could maybe change if Reddick is this dug in is if there's a significant injury to a star on the defense. That's the only way, but you can't bank on that if you're Haason Reddick. Show up next week, shake Joe Douglas's hand, work something out, and get on the field, man. Because the best thing for Haason Reddick at the end of the day is to ignore his moron agents, all right? And say, hey, the best thing for me is to show up, play well, and then I'll go into unrestricted free agency next year with a chance to actually get money that I'm deserving of. See, Danielle Hunter, everyone says, Danielle Hunter, look what he got. Yeah, he was a free agent. Haason Reddick is not a free agent. He's under contract. It sucks. He is underpaid. I agree. But if he showed up from the beginning, I think they would have worked with him and gave him something for this year that he would have been okay with. He's not getting a 2 or 3 year extension, and you're not rewarding him with that now. If he had shown up and maybe balled out, maybe they would have signed him in season. They signed JFM in season. It's not like this regime has never signed a player in season before. But the takeaways from Douglas here is it's on Reddick's camp, his agents, to tell him to show up because the Jets aren't doing a damn thing until he does. Now, once again, 2 things that change it: an injury to a star player on defense for the Jets, or maybe if they just get no pass rush against Purdy on Monday night. But even then, I'm not convinced that moves the needle because you're also trying to set a precedent here for future contract negotiations. And for the first time in a very long time, the New York Jets are going to have to pay many of their own. For once, it's the Jets not chasing after other team stars in free agency. They got to pay their own so they don't get the free agency. We haven't had this problem, quote unquote, since the last time this team was going to the playoffs, going to the AFC Championship, when they had to pay Mangold and DeBrickashaw and Revis and David Harris, the homegrown Jets. It's been a while. But at the end of the day, the line from the press conference from Joe Douglas, for those who didn't see it live, or for those just tuning in now, The ball is in their court. And that's the stance the Jets have to take, and it's the right stance. I don't like that we're here. If I was running the team, it would have been different, but no one could deny this is the right stance from this point on. And I don't think anyone could deny, even if you can't stand Reddick saying, cut him, get rid of his ass, all this nonsense. I don't think anyone could deny that this guy's a phenomenal football player, all right? 4 years in a row with 11 or more sacks. Find me a Jet that's ever done that. So the Jets have the right stance, and now we will see in this game of chicken who blinks. And honestly, I think it's going to be the guy who needs the play to get paid. That's the bottom line. Hit the like button if you're tuning in live. We have 618 of you who are watching the show live right now. If you want bonus content, if you want access to our private Discord where we are planning meetups for every game, for every Jet fan who's going to any of the road games, any of the home games, all the info is on patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. You join the Discord and you'll see there's a separate tab in the Discord channel for the Jake Asman Show where you can link up with your fellow Jet fans who are going to each road game. Bunch of you are going to San Fran. We got stuff for that. Bunch of you going to Nashville week 2. We got stuff for that. Plus, you'll find out info about when the show starts every day, guest announcements, info about when I'm on the radio next. Like those of you in the Discord know I'm on Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM Channel 82 from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. And I'm filling in for DiPietro and Rothenberg on ESPN New York Monday morning, Labor Day from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So check that out. But you get a ton of info, your name in the intro, and a whole lot more. So check it out, folks. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. A huge, huge shout out to listener Ken O'Connell, who signed up for the year and saved 15% by joining the Patreon. Listener Melvin Weiss, Zalix, and Raul Marino for being our 4 most recent Patreon subscribers. All right, hit the like button. The Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is open. Let's read some super chats. But first, we say hello, Felix Campos. How about a 10 spot of gifted memberships?
Felix Campos, a wonderful, wonderful guy. He gives a lot of gift memberships and loves the Jake Asman Show.
Take the money.
Yeah, baby. Here we go. Angel, Michael Beckerman, Jose, Michael, Dressing Gowns, John David, Aaron 35, Stu Jam, Walton, Green Beans Burner, Tony Lee, Christopher Kernick. You are all officially channel members. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pay it forward. It's just $5 to gift your fellow Asmaniac a channel membership. And you're going to want to be a member today. You want to know why? Because Best of the Jake Asman Show episode number 7 is live, folks. The mystery of the crooked Bobby Lamp is live for all channel members. And, of course, I want to be the first on this show to wish Bobby Midnight happy, happy birthday. We'll be celebrating Bobby Midnight all day long. Yvonne with a super chat. He cuts the line. He writes in and says, Reddick is way more valuable than Adams, Mims, etc. Of course, no one's going to dispute that. But the fact that the Jets put out a statement the way they did tells you a lot. And by the way, at the time of Jamal Adams' trade request, he was coming off a first-team All-Pro season. Let's not forget that. So the Jets' stance here tells me a lot. Bang Mateo says, why is Bleacher Report reporting we're in disarray? They're not reporting that. The Athletic spoke with an anonymous agent, maybe it's Reddick's agent, and said, oh, look how they handled Aaron Rodgers. He runs the team, but he didn't show up to minicamp. If you pay any attention to an anonymous agent who doesn't have the balls to put his name on it because he's a sack of crap loser, it tells me all I need to know. I'll destroy that guy probably in a later video, maybe at 4:30 Eastern time today with Boy Green. But anyone who pays any attention to an anonymous agent who clearly hates Aaron Rodgers based on the quotes I was seeing, don't fall for the media sack of you-know-what. Here for the memes, writes in. 1 week till NFL. Let's get our freaky on. Ayo. 1 week from tonight, NFL football, baby. That's right. Hey, shout out to Midnight Mike. He says, nice to catch the show live. Usually I watch on replay. Welcome in. Big shout out to everyone who is a part of the replay gang, which is most of the audience. You guys are awesome. Appreciate your support. Everyone watching live, love the chat. Love what you guys bring to the table. We got a family here. Nothing like it. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. I'm curious, how's the chat feeling after hearing from Douglas? Do you think Reddick shows up next week. Yay or nay? Where do we go from here? Super chat here from Felix Campos. What's happened with safety scenes switching sides going to Buffalo? So, for those who missed it this morning, it came out that Lewis Seen, who's the former Vikings safety, who yesterday was reported was going to join the Jets practice squad, Lewis Seen apparently changed his mind and is now signing with the Bills. I think he just looked at it as an opportunity where maybe he'd get on the field faster. I'm not losing sleep over this. It is just kind of funny how you have yet another former Viking that agrees to come to the Jets and then changes their mind. This is like dollar store Anthony Barr. But am I going to sit here and lose sleep over this? No. The other move the Jets made yesterday, for those who missed it, is they signed tight end Brendan Bates and they released Jason Brownlee. But I'm not losing sleep over this. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Green Empire Lawn Care says, how was your fantasy draft? Who'd you get? Thanks for asking, Green Empire. With my third overall pick in my fantasy draft, Team Jake Asman selected
Bruce Hall.
That's right. Bruce Hall. Bruce was my pick at number 3. I also ended up with the Jets defense and Greg the Leg. So I have 3 Jets. But if you count the Jets defense, I have 11 Jets. Plus Brees, plus Greg. So 13 Jets. There you go. Comments, questions, super chats. Dean says, did Kuntz make the practice squad? He did. He was signed back. LX Jet says, obviously Reddick's trying to get paid, but I feel like this is his way of skipping camp. I think he'll be there next week. I do too, but I don't know if he's going to play week 1. I don't know if they're just going to throw him out there. We'll see what type of shape he's in. I know he's posting videos of him working out, but that's a little different than actually getting hit and going through practice. All that. Super chat from Felix. Yeah, he just missed possibly being on a Super Bowl team. This is in regards to Lewis Seen. Yeah, look. But he's not thinking about that. He's thinking, where's the best opportunity for me to get on the field and play? And he views Buffalo as a better chance. I mean, all right. I'm telling you, the Jets will be just fine without Lewis Seen. Here for the memes checks in. If you had to bet $100 in either Reddick showing up or holding out for a few weeks, where do you put your money? Me personally, I'm betting the holdout. I think he shows up next week. I'd bet it that way. I'm just trying to use common sense here. Now, I never thought it would get to this point. I really didn't. Because I just assumed when they made this trade, they were pretty close to a deal. And Douglas wouldn't make this trade unless he was very confident they were going to get something done. I gave him too much credit. I've been very critical of that. That said, I agree with the stance he's taking, and I do think he shows up next week. I'm just not guaranteeing you he plays week 1. Alex says, LOL, he's great, but he can't play week 1. Well, he might not be ready to play week 1, Alex. What type of shape is he in? We don't know. M. King with a super chat. He cuts the line. If the Jets defense gets shredded by San Fran, will Reddick make that big of a difference? He should be an upgrade, but our defense is not chopped liver. I mean, one player doesn't make an entire defense, but let's not try and diminish how good of a football player Haason Reddick actually is, though. This guy is a game wrecker. But it's not like the Jets are devoid of talent without him. In fact, they probably have more talent than any of us realized in that defensive line room based on what we saw. So consider that. Rich writes in, 200 likes, hit it. Give me those milk thumbs. Speaking of milk thumbs, I'm joining Green Beans stream later tonight around 9 p.m. Eastern. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, more importantly, if you haven't. Subscribe, baby. It's on the right-hand side. Some of you watch this show for free. You don't hit the subscribe button. Why is that? Do you not like the Jets? Don't answer that if you don't. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is officially open. If you go to gusbuster.com, you could purchase the best umbrella in the universe. And you could use the promo code Jake, so you'll get 15% off on any of your umbrellas. First up today is Gary in Fort Worth. Hello, Gary.
What's up, Jake? I'm surprised you would go to me first on the Joe Douglas press conference, but listening to that was the least confidence building thing I'd ever heard in my life. I couldn't imagine trying to negotiate that. I counted in that 2-minute clip you put together. He said 29 times. Right? What he was asked about the contract, I could say clear and direct from the beginning, and I have a lot of respect for his agent as well. Like, you can't negotiate with that person. He's just not smart enough.
What are you talking about? Gary,
you just can't get anything done.
This is already. What do you mean he can't get anything done? Did he not get Mike Williams signed for a 1-year deal below market value than what everyone said? Did he not get Tyron Smith for $6.5 million guaranteed? Did he not get the Quinnen Williams contract done before camp last year? What do you mean he can't negotiate? What he says in the media and then what he says behind closed doors to an agent is two completely different things. We went through what he said. He's not the best public speaker because he has ums in his thing.
How do you hire someone like that? Like who didn't get the job, right? Like you wouldn't hire him to greet people at Walmart, Jake. 20.
Gary,
you
Gary,
sound like
Gary,
a moron
Gary,
when you say.
Gary, you're on the record saying Joe Douglas has built the most talented Jets team you've seen since 1998. So who hired him? Why did they hire him? What is he doing? Oh, I don't know. In your own words, he's doing a pretty damn good job.
Well, no, he's doing a terrible job. He's built a 27-56 team and traded for a guy who's holding out. And he said he knew they didn't have an agreement, right? You tried to sell it off.
Joe Douglas should have been fired 2 days before he was hired.
I'm not doing it today. I'm just not. I don't have it in me. Congrats, Gary. I'm not doing it. There's 668 people watching. I am not going to torture them by having you continue to spew just utter nonsense. I think Joe Douglas definitely should be criticized for where we are with the Reddick situation. Because I think they should have kept Bryce Huff. That's what I would have done. But the fact that you're going to sit there and count the man's ums and act as if that has any impact on the type of general manager he is, and then say he's done a terrible job when you've also been on the record saying he has built the most talented Jets team you've seen since 1998, the last time they won 12 games in a season. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I'm not subjecting the audience to that either. I can't. Jose with an Asmaniac super chat. Get Gary out of here. Too early for this nonsense. I can't do it, man. You're welcome, America. I saved you. Deroyd writes in with a super chat. And may be like Cook's situation last year. The difference is Dalvin Cook was showing signs of being a wash player. I thought it was worth the risk. It was a 1-year deal. Brees was coming off the injury, so I felt like why not? Turned out to be a bad signing. The difference is, though, Haason Reddick last year was a baller. The guy is still a damn good football player. Man with a rake checks in with a super chat, an Asmaniac one. Reddick did not plan on the Jets being so deep. He lost his leverage. I think he needs to wait to be a free agent to score large dollars. Couple things happen here. One, he did not plan on the Jets defense, I think, being this deep on the D-line. I think that's fair. I think, two, the Reddick camp, his agents thought, well, the Jets are desperate because they both head coach and GM need to win this year or they're getting fired. They're going to cave and give us what we want because they're under pressure to win and they're not worried about down the line. They miscalculated that. And I think it shows you that Douglas is on pretty good standing with Woody Johnson because he has to go to Woody and say, hey, this is the stance we're going to take. Do I have your blessing to take it? Because if Woody says, no, get a deal done. I want to win this year. I'm not worried about the future. Get Reddick signed. Then the stance maybe is different. But Woody's on board with the stance the Jets are taking. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here right now. So it tells you that there is still a belief from this owner in the GM running the franchise right now. It does tell you that. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, we get back to your busy phone calls right now when we bring on someone who is the total opposite of Gary, who hates Joe Douglas. This guy wants to make sweet love to Joe Douglas.
The only thing better than Alden shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy. Jake, my brother, doing us a favor on Bobby's birthday. Having Gary not get our blood boiling.
I can't do it. I don't have it in me, man. But yesterday or whenever that was 2 days ago, I could do it once a month. I've already used it for August.
Yeah, he must have enjoyed when you got mad at him because he was trying to do it. He was trying to get you again, and I'm glad you matrixed the bullet. You dodged that thing real good. So, yeah. Look, if you don't want to like Joe Douglas, that's fine. You know, you can't just criticize like Gary almost like hurts his, you know, what makes him Gary. Like when he says stupid takes where it's just like, all right, Gary, I know you love playing devil's advocate, but come on, man. Wait until we suck to start this crap. Like you can't start it now. I'm literally on the train this morning and I already watched one Jets drive, so you know I gushed over that. But I was watching just this soundbite to Aaron Rodgers. And he is just such a goddamn dude. Like, he is just changed everything. Like, when he went up to just things like when he went up to Kinlaw, and he's giving Kinlaw a hug. How long has he known Kinlaw? Like 6 months? He's like, I love you, man. I love you, bro. Like, it's just his person. He's just the man. When Garrett was like, I was 30 yards downfield, and you still threw it. He was like, I still got it. Like, I got chills, man. Like, I'm so excited. And when it's like, Gary, what are you going to say when things pan out? And it's like we're favored to win the division. When we win the division and all these good things happen, what are you going to start saying about Joe Douglas? You shit on him too much about the wrong things. Yeah, you want to criticize him for the for the Haason Reddick deal. He took a chance. I get it. I wouldn't have done, I wouldn't have signed Huff and that stuff. I wouldn't have went that far because I feel like we need money to sign Jermaine and all these guys. So I wouldn't have if they didn't want to dump money into Huff, there's a reason. So that's kind of my take on that. But it's just like, Gary, relax. I love how you get him, though. You always go back to his words of him saying, that this is the best roster we've had since '98. And when you put that on record.
Yeah, and also he has an Xavier Gibson jersey and a Tony Adams jersey. Those are two of the better moves this general manager has made, getting those guys as UDFAs who are key parts of the defense, special teams, and the offense.
Every one of us has a player that wasn't expected, that developed in our system that we all love. Just ask Nate about Stiggers. Stiggers already, you could just tell the guy's got it. One thing you have to understand also as a fan base, we don't have to even talk about our first round or second round draft picks and really worry about them as much. We mostly hit on our big guys. Sometimes we miss like Zach Wilson, but everybody's going to miss. We used to miss 80%, 90% of the time in the first round the last 15 years. Now we argue about day 3 guys like Clemens and if he should make the roster and day 3 picks. It's like, it's just a completely different world. Happy birthday, Bobby. Jake, I love you. Gator, the message Jake asked this morning was beautiful. Happy birthday, Bobby.
Hey, Joe Bonesy.
Joe Bonesy in the house. Jake, you were amazing on Nick's show last night. Mariano Rivera closing it out.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy. Love it. Love it. All right, more calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello to the great, the immortal, Felix Campos. What's up, Felix?
What's going on, Jake, man? What's going on with Gary? Does he wake up in the middle of the day, the night, thinking about Joe Douglas? Like, come on, man. I mean, listen, is he perfect? Absolutely not. But has he been the better GM since probably the last 15 years we've seen? I mean, what he's done with this team, building it from the ground up, is remarkable. You know what I mean? And we have to give him some kudos. Yeah, he's not perfect. Shit, tell me a GM that is perfect. You know what I mean? I mean, you got 32 teams out there. You may have 5 GMs that are just excellent. You know what I mean? You're not going to hit on everything. But I think he's done a great job. Yeah, did he take a swing and try to hit a Aaron Judge home run with fucking Reddick? Yeah, excuse my language, sorry. With Reddick, yeah. Why not?
It was
The
a
guy
calculated
has
risk, Felix, because the way
yeah,
I looked at it is we're in it to win for 1 year. We didn't want to pay Huff because we have other guys coming up, and we think we could get Reddick.
absolutely.
He could be better for 1 year than Huff, and it's only a
Yeah,
2026 third round pick. We let him go after this year. We get a comp pick back. We basically got Haason Reddick for free.
dude. Listen, I would have did the same thing. I would have tried to hit, for the fences. And my biggest worry with this is that he comes in, on the second or third, doesn't play the first, but is not in game shape and possibly gets hurt. He doesn't realize that he's really risking his career because if he gets hurt, and he's out for, let's say, half of the season or more than half of the season, or maybe the season altogether, next year is garbage for him. He's not going to get paid. People are going to want to pay him a 1 year veteran minimum to see if he can still do it. So he's really costing himself at the end of the day. His agent, I would fire my agent ASAP because he's really getting horrible advice on this whole situation.
I agree. I think they overplayed their hand. I think they thought that the Jets would be desperate because they're all in the win.
They
Woody would say, get a deal done. Yep.
Yeah. They thought they could muscle Joe, and they didn't realize Joe's not a person you can muscle. At the end of the day.
He has the backing of ownership. That's the only way you can take the stance they're taking. And I think it's the right one at this point because it's not like this is different than the Revis holdout where they needed him. And it's like everyone knew him on the team. He should have been defensive player of the year the previous year. Like none of the Jets players know Haason Reddick. They know he's a good player, but until they actually meet him and get to know him, like he's just a guy that was on a different team. Like he's not a Jet to them yet, Like he's technically on the roster, but not really. He was there for 1 day.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. Another thing another question I had, what's going on with Carter the second? Is he going to play game 1? Is he still hurt?
He should be good for week 1, they said. Yeah, they expect him to be out there.
That's great news. We're going into the season, Jake, healthy. We're going to game 1 healthy. Everybody starting fire line, starting defense, everybody's healthy. We haven't had that.
I know.
We have not had that.
Knock on wood, they stay healthy from now until next Monday.
Yeah. Knock on wood. But I mean, gosh, football gods, give us a little break, keep us healthy this year. But Jake, it's been a pleasure, brother. You take it easy.
Felix, you're the man. I can't wait till your merch arrives, my man. Thanks for all your support. This chat certainly appreciates all the gifted memberships. And Felix gifted 10 earlier this show, folks. Another reminder. If you're an Asmaniac on YouTube, you could watch exclusively right now Best of the Jake Asman Show, Episode 7, guaranteed to laugh your rear ends off. It is so funny. So enjoy that. Aaron says, what are your thoughts on Lewis Cine to the Bills? So I hit on this a little earlier. I guess you're just tuning in, Aaron. I'm not losing sleep over it. I think he saw it as an opportunity to get on the field quicker in Buffalo than the Jets. All right. It's just funny how it's always the Vikings, right? Anthony Barr. This is basically dollar store Anthony Barr. Gary Vaynerchuk tweeted me about that before, too. Gary V. Can everyone tweet at Gary V? When are you coming on the show? See, I meet Gary V in person. Nice guy. Spoke to him directly. I say, you got to come on the show. And he knows who I am. And he tells me who to contact. And then you go through the people you got to contact, and they give you the ring around. All right, he's busy, this and that. No. Find time for him to come on the biggest Jet show on the planet. The guy says he wants to own the New York Jets one day. All right. Talk to fans. You just had a new book that came out. You want to promote a book? My audience will support you more than some of these other fakakta national shows they have them going on. And I'm not blaming Gary, but the people behind Gary Vaynerchuk need to let him know that this is the show to be on. So if you guys could respond to that tweet from him and say, come on the show, I'd appreciate it because there's no reason for him to not be on this channel. It's a no-brainer. And it's not him. I know he'll do it. It's just the people that are, his people are like Haason Reddick's people. They're giving him some bad advice. That's what's happening here. Story Lynn, super chat. He cuts the line. Great roster on paper. No more passes for Joe Douglas. We need perfection. Is a franchise tag available for Reddick? Big 1 year deal. No, he's under contract, so you can't put the tag on him. Now, after the year, could they tag him? Yes, but you're not going to go through the headache of tagging him. He wants a deal. He wants a contract. So come on now. But I think Storyland, if he goes out there and plays great, I don't rule out the Jets maybe being able to keep him. You don't know. See what happens. But one thing is for sure, it is in the best interest of Haason Reddick to ball out and play great, because if that happens, if not the Jets, someone is more inclined to pay him. Simple. Aaron, super chat cuts. I already read this. My bad. Sluggo writes in, Jake, are you worried Clemens and McDonald will get run over? No, I'm not. You know, I have a lot of confidence in this defense. Adam says, I don't get what his play here. He sits out the season. Jets still have his rights. Exactly. That's why he has to show up at some point. Just a matter of when. That's really the bottom line. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. We say hello to one of the great Asmaniacs out there, Jerome, the Packer fan. What's up, Jerome?
Greetings, everybody. Greetings, everybody. How you doing, Jake? I see I see Gary chose violence early this morning.
He chose something.
Oh my goodness. We love Gary though, man. We love Gary though. I'd like to meet him one day. But yeah, man, I think Joe, it is just my opinion. I think Joe has to be careful with his words. That's why you hear all the ums, and he has to, because you still have yet to get the guy signed on. So you kind of want to not say anything wrong. So that's probably where all the ums come from.
Yeah,
Joe is just
exactly.
picking his words.
Excellent point. Absolutely. Gary set me up before I could even make that point. But yeah, I mean,
right.
He's not going to come out and what he wants to say is we had a verbal agreement. He shows up, we'll redo his contract. He reneged on that and hasn't shown up. We're not changing our stance. He can't say it that way. He doesn't want to be blunt. That's why he's like, I have respect for Haason, respect for the agent, but it balls in his court. He told you without saying it directly where they're at with this. So Gary's just being Gary. That's the only way I could describe it.
Yeah. And I think something will get done shortly here or whatnot, because you guys have everything before you, as I once told you before with the season. There are no injuries. And while Haason is someone that gives you guys optimal level, the team will work optimally better with him, especially the defense. But even if for some reason it doesn't work out or whatever, y'all have Aaron Rodgers. And as a Packer fan, I've watched Aaron Rodgers work with less than mediocre defenses and still get to 13-3.
Would you say he's pretty good, Jerome? I've watched him play 4 plays with the Jets. Would you say this Rodgers guy's pretty good?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good by my estimation and by my experience in watching the guy. And so Rodgers mitigates a lot of stuff. And I'm gonna step out on the limb, and I would dare to say that I think y'all offense is gonna shine more than the defense this year, in the sense that they're gonna get y'all have more leads. They're going to get a defense more time to rest and whatnot. I just think there'll be a story of, tabloids and the media talking more about y'all offense, because I'm thinking it's going to click real well with the Jets starting out on y'all offense. And, again, Aaron Rodgers, he's carried defenses. It's not to say because the Jets don't have a bad defense. Y'all have a top 5 defense. But the point is, Rodgers has carried less than mediocre defenses. And so y'all won't be in that space. So yeah, y'all gonna do well this year.
Jerome?
Y'all gonna do well this year. Jerry tripping, man.
14-3.
14-3.
I love it. Jerome, great hat, great take. Jerome checking in. This footage here is courtesy of SNY Jets. They're at Jet practice right now. These are the only highlights you'll be able to see going forward, because media is not allowed to film any part of practice besides warm-ups and a couple of minutes of individual drills. We're in regular season mode now, folks. 11 days till Monday night. Are you coming to the watch party? T-Squared Social. Week 1 and week 2. I don't have the RSVP link for the Titans game yet, but we will as soon as week 1 concludes. Get ready, folks. The watch party of... RSVP. If you're coming out. More of your calls on our Gusbuster umbrella hotline. Make sure you use code Jake at gusbuster.com and get yourself a discounted umbrella, the #1 umbrella in the universe. We say hello to our friend Kyle Clifton. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, Jake? This is going to be a Douglas-centric call because I'm not going to mention the player who shall not be mentioned. Listen, I don't know what people's problem is with Joe Douglas, right? The previous caller was right on the spot about him being very careful with his words, and he has to make sure that he maintains the relationship. When you talked earlier about his waiver claims, Barrios, JFM, Quincy. The UDFAs have been great. Like Taylor III. Like, other teams, do you see them getting these types of players as UDFAs? I think the guy is a good talent evaluator. I think that Braylon Allen in the fourth round, he's generally drafted well. He's had a mixed bag as free agents. He's had some hits. He's had some misses. That's the nature of free agency. I don't know. Once we get to see him with a quarterback this year, we'll be able to evaluate him. Personally, I kind of feel like the guy should be executive for life. We've never had this level of talent.
They got to win, Kyle. They got to win, man.
I get it, and I expect that we will.
Yeah, if they win, then I'm with you, man. But let's see how the year plays. Let's make sure these moves that we're as high on actually turn out to be good. We all were on board with signing Dalvin Cook a year ago, and that ended up being terrible. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but,
We understand the nature of the business, yes. But, like, in what scenario is this team not going to be double-digit wins? And if they're not double-digit wins, in what scenario do we see that it's on the coach or on injuries? Like, there's so much talent on this team. It's sickening. It's like it's an embarrassment of riches from where I sit.
Yeah, they have to win this year. I'm with you. Yeah. Douglas has built a heck of a roster. It's the best roster the Jets have put on a field in 15 years at least. Maybe longer than that. Now they got to take advantage of it.
To me, better than the 09 and 10 teams, I think.
Well, it is because of the quarterback. That's the bottom line.
Yep. Thanks, Jake.
Kyle, appreciate you. Like, if you tell me, like, skill-wise, you can make a case for the 2010 team, right? You can make a case LT and Sean Green in 2010 with the three-headed trio that was incredible of Holmes, Cotry, and Braylon. Keller at tight end. You can make a case that's a better skill group than what the Jets have this year. The difference is Aaron Rodgers versus Mark Sanchez. Not even close. Not even close. Like, I'd rather the Jet receivers in 2010 than these receivers. And guess what? Garrett Wilson's the best Jet receiver. When it's all said and done, he might be the best they've ever had. But the totality of those players, I'd take that team. But I'm not taking Sanchez over this guy. Get the shirt from Homage, by the way. Use my link in the description. Like, you can't even compare it. Defensively, it's comparable. I think this defense in 2024 is better than the 2010 team from a talent perspective. I think the O-line in 2010 is better than this O-line, but there's a chance this O-line is just as good. It really is. You tell me AVT's healthy, Tyron plays 13 games, Morgan Moses is out there continuing to be an Ironman. They could be really good. Point is, they've never had a quarterback like this. They just haven't. And that video the Jets put out yesterday of Rodgers mic'd up, carving up the Giants, the one scene Bonesy brought up at the end was incredible. Garrett Wilson in awe of that touchdown that we played a bunch on the show last week after the Giants joint practice, saying, man, you threw that ball when I was 30 yards down my route already. And Rodgers just replied with a smirk, yeah, I still got it. Like, this guy, if he's healthy, is going to play like a top 10 quarterback in the league. I have no doubt. No doubt about it. And even if he's not top 10, does anyone think Aaron Rodgers is going to be bad or be a reason why this team doesn't win? You know who's bad and a reason why they didn't win? Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian. And they still won 7 games last year. So this team is winning 10 or more games. They better. Because if they don't, either Rodgers got hurt or there's a major fundamental problem with the coach and the staff, which I don't see happening. Rob checks in with an Asmaniac super chat. What's up, Rob Basil? We are the number 1 defense with Reddick, and without, we're still top 3 in my opinion. LFG Jets, and happy birthday to our favorite caller, Bobby Midnight. Bobby has a doctor's appointment this morning, so that's why he hasn't called in, but I got Boy Green on later today. Around 4:30, we're going live for the second show. He'll be on that one. And Nick Shine tonight's doing a Bobby Midnight co-hosted show on his channel to celebrate his birthday. Brandon Roberts with a $10 super chat. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Jets. Can't wait for the season. Hashtag dad life. Let's go, Brandon. Can't wait for the Jets season as well. Michael says, can't wait. That's right. Let's go. Tyrone. NFL starts next Thursday. Excited. Go Jets. Let's go. Dan writes in, Jake, please play the chicken and pasta song for my 10-month-old son, and I will take a video of him dancing to it and send it to you to play on the show. All right, Dan. I'm going to play it, and then you can replay it for your son. I'm expecting a video for everyone. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for all of us to sing along.
Chicken doesn't go with pasta. Don't you know it's disgusting? Chicken can't go with pasta. Why? Because of the texture. Instead, go get yourself pizza at the closest Shell gas station, because chicken don't go with pasta. I just discovered dogs are pets.
All you need to know about Gary is that he discovered that dogs were good pets somewhat recently. All right? There's a grown man with, I believe, 3 or at least 2 children. Amazing. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Jordan McCaskey says, trade Reddick if it comes to it. Let me say this, Jordan. I appreciate you watching. I really do. Unfortunately, this comment is worthy of this.
You dirt-eating piece of slime! You scum-sucking pig! You son of a motherless goat!
The problem with that statement is he has no trade value. That's why the Jets were able to get him for a 3rd-round pick. And at the time of the deal, it was a 3rd-round pick, 3 drafts from when they acquired him. Now it's 2. He has no value, which helps the Jets. That's why they're like, we're not trading you. You're playing for us, buddy. And it's the right stance. 670 of you are still watching the show. Did you hear we have a merch store? JakeAsman.com to get your swag. 2 people bought merch this morning, so thank you to everyone out there who continues to check out our awesome store. Appreciate everyone for their support. If you're a Patreon member, every item in there is 15% off. My shorts, I'll finally be able to rock them today. I'm getting them later from our merch store director. More calls right now. Let's say hello to Evan, who's up next. What's up, Evan?
Jake, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm living the dream. Nice shirt, man. Raising Cane's. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Gotta represent. Best chicken out there. Yeah, man. It's funny. I think you could write like a whole psychological case study on like Joe Douglas and his ability to just, I don't know. It's like the way Jet fans react to Joe Douglas. I've never seen any other Jet like fan base ever react to one person ever in my life. I guess my point is just like there's no like balanced take with Joe Douglas. It's either like he's a demigod and we gotta build a statue for him yesterday and make sure he never leaves the organization, or like he's a scrub and we're terrible and you know obviously the win-loss is pretty ugly. But I don't know. I guess I just want to summarize. Yeah, he's built a really talented roster and this team's amazing. We should all be so excited. We haven't had a team like this in forever, but it doesn't make you a hater to acknowledge like there's been multiple mistakes made at offensive line the last 5 years. There's been multiple mistakes made at the quarterback position the last 5 years. There's been questionable decisions made at coaching hires, right? Like these things aren't, it doesn't make you like a jerk or a bad person to mention these things. It's fine. We could acknowledge it and talk about it. And, you know, I think people shouldn't be shy to talk about that stuff too. You know, ultimately we should just be holding these guys accountable to what they do. So I know that's your job. I know we as fans like to do that too, but we don't have to coordinate, you know, Joe Douglas this early in his Jet tenure before he's made even the playoffs or even has a 500 record in a single year. So
you know what the biggest problem is, Evan? Last year, Rodgers got hurt on the 4th play of the season. Like we would have more answers right now. Like we're basically they're basically getting a second chance when last year was supposed to be the all-in year. You got to find out you have the right coach and GM in place to capitalize on this Rodgers window. Like that's the problem. We went through hell last year. That's why Jet fans, some of them, are just so angry. It's like they don't want to acknowledge that last year was basically a waste of time, which it became once you lost Rodgers on the 4th play of the season.
Yeah, it was tough. And look, again, why didn't we have like an NFL caliber quarterback to back him up? I don't know. Why did we go into the season with 39-year-old Dwayne Brown as our primary option for left tackle? I don't know. But like, you know, and again, I love Joe. I hope we keep him around for a long time. And I think this year we're going to show everyone why we like him so much. But, you know, let's be a little balanced. All that said, like, hell yeah, let's go Jets. I don't know. I don't want to check anyone's excitement before the year, but let's go.
Evan, great call. Let's go, man. If you can't be excited now for this team, then why bother being a fan? Yeah, it could all go wrong. We lived it last year, but like, I'm not living my life that way. Like, I'm going to be excited about this season. This team is stacked. They're really good. So I'm going to enjoy it. They're the betting favorites to win their own division, which they haven't done since 2002, by the way. But who's counting? Top Provolone writes in, what's the last possible moment Reddick could come back and fulfill his contract? It's always confusing with that stuff. I thought he had to be there by like week 10 or week 11, but no one has an answer on this. No one knows. I have no idea. I just don't even see that being something he's going to try and pull, though. Because then if he wants to get paid, what does showing up with 6 games left do? No one's paying you the big money you want off of 6 games of game tape in your age 30 season when you're a guy who relies on speed. And then you want someone to give you a long-term deal going into your age 31 season next year. It's not going to happen. Derek Q with an Asmaniac super chat. Jake, did you see ESPN's promo for the Jets-Niners game? I did. It's awesome. By the way, is Gator going to pass out again from all the excitement? He might, man. He might. I did see the promo, though. It's excellent. I'm ready. Can't wait. Let's win, man. They could win that game. Even without Reddick. If Ayuk doesn't play, Trent's not out there, CMC's not 100% or doesn't play at all, like, the Jets could absolutely win that game. Dewey says, you switch up too much, Jake. What happened to we need him if you want to win a Super Bowl? I still feel that way, Dewey. What are you talking about? I've not switched up at all. I've said over and over again, it would behoove the Jets to get a deal done with Reddick. What I'm telling you is the idea that he somehow gains leverage if they lose week 1, I'm not subscribing to that theory because I think they're going to be 4-1. If you want to win a Super Bowl, I do believe Haason Reddick gives you a significantly better chance of accomplishing that because if you're going on the road to Kansas City in the playoffs and you're chasing Mahomes, Haason Reddick is going to help you get after him. That's my point. You still need him if you want to win it all. I still believe that. But I'm also not going to sit here and act like they don't have a really good team without him. They do. I haven't switched up at all. I've been consistent with this. And I've been incredibly critical of the GM for making this deal without a contract in place. But I'm also not going to sit here and act like what the Jets' stance is from this point on is not the best stance. See, there's nuance to it. Something you probably don't know what that even means, which I understand. But unfortunately, you leave me with absolutely no choice.
Into the shadow realm you go.
Aaron Rodgers is another sudden Liz Frank injury due to failure to vaccinate. I'm the dumbest person I know.
Get your 5th booster, Keith.
By the way, is anyone a bigger loser than Keith Olbermann? Oh, my God. The biggest loser on the planet is Keith Olbermann. Bum. Ladies and gentlemen, he's done it again, folks. Felix Campos, 20 channel memberships. Folks, a 20 spot after he gifted earlier in the show a 10 spot. That is 30 channel memberships in a single show from Felix Campos.
Felix Campos, he wonderful, wonderful guy. He gives a lot of gift memberships and loves the Jake Asman Show. Take the money.
You hear that? That means it's raining memberships, folks. Grab my Gustbuster umbrella. Here we go. We got 20 names to read, folks. And by the way, the Fireman Ed emoji is in the works right now. Ed will be a weekly with us every Friday for those of you who missed the announcement yesterday. Felix Campos has gifted 20 memberships too. Sluggo, That Poke Dude, Talon, Rob DeMob, NY Jet 8, Orb, Rowan Marshall, The Greatness, Thomas Carney, Drew, Johnny Boy, Michael Camarino, Sharp Instincts, Super Hempy, John Doe, Michael Pepper Jr., Michael Lopez, Dan Pablu, Adam Falat, Joseph Rodriguez. You are all officially channel members. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That, my friends, is what we call greatness on full display from Felix Campos. Unreal. Let's go. Thank you very much, Felix. You're the man. You are the man. 31 members so far. How did we get to 31 if we were just at 30? Because we say thank you to Plumpy Boy, Who's paying it forward? It's just $5 to gift your fellow Asmaniac a membership. Plumpy Boys membership went to Ben Catamol. You are a channel member. Let's go. All right, Ben. Welcome aboard. Welcome. Hit that like button. 350 likes, 650 of you watching live. The math's not mathing. Simple as that. David says, how can I confirm I was gifted a sub? You were not gifted a membership, David. How do I know? You do not have a nice badge next to your name. You don't. But maybe someone will gift you one. Make sure you turn on gift receipts. The only way you can get a membership is by liking the video you're watching right now and subscribing to the channel and turning on gift receipts. If you don't do that, the algorithm is not giving you one. All right? Those are the rules. We say hello to Jordan, who's next up. What's up, Jordan?
Yo, what up, Jake? Happy to be here. My take on Reddick's the same as before. Just that he'll be back by week 1 is my take. That was my take at the beginning of training camp, and people weren't too happy to hear that, it's probably going to be protracted till week 1, but I don't think he's going to give up game checks. As far as, I don't know, I'm still on the same stuff as before. I'd like to see them bring in more interior depth. I know that we're at the final 53. I mean, I don't think we need 4 running backs. I'd rather have them bring back. Is McGovern still a free agent, or?
He is, but I think based on their actions, they probably don't think he's a very good player anymore, and they have concerns with him coming off injury. Or maybe he's not healthy yet.
Yeah, maybe. I guess he would probably be signed because he was decent last year, but I'd like them to bring in someone for interior depth before the season starts, just because, I don't know, I don't have I don't know. Last year, it just kind of fucked up the season, the offensive line and the quarterback play. I think this year we're solid at quarterback, and the tackle position we're solid at, but I'm just worried about the interior. As far as my other thing, I just think it's kind of funny, Jets fans. It's like, to be fair, this year and last year, we do have more to look forward to, but I feel like every year it's like, oh, we can't wait for the season to start, and then the season starts, and it's like, oh, we can't wait for the off season. It's a funny cycle with Jets fans, and I love it.
Yeah, but this is different though, Jordan. Last year was different too because of the quarterback situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, there were going to the 2022 season, there was excitement because Zach was still an unknown. Hey, could he take a year 2 leap? He showed some signs as a rookie. You're like, all right, there's some talent there. They had 2 picks in the top 10, right? They had that historic first round and Brees in the second. So there was excitement, but my record prediction that year was 7-10. They went 7-10. Now I didn't think they were going to start 6-3 and 7-4 and then collapse, right? But I wasn't expecting big things, relatively speaking. Last year, I expected to win the division. This year, I'm expecting to win the division. I think they got a better team this year than last year. So, Jet fans, we always try and convince ourselves, hey, this year could be fun because they did go to a championship game with Mark Sanchez in year 1, and no one had that. But this team is way different, man. They're way more talented than any Jets team they put on the field in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. Well, besides for last year, but I do agree with you. All right, well, let's hope that the season turns out the way that you want it to, and that it's a little bit different for the Jets this year. Go Jets, and great show.
Jordan, thank you, man. Appreciate the call. Hit the like button for Jordan. Good call right there. Some super chats still coming in. Monty checks in. He writes, dynasty teams don't negotiate with terrorists. JD is awesome. It's still worth the risk. I'd rather have a possible Reddick than no Reddick. Thanks, J.A. I respect the passion, Monty, but I don't know if Joe Douglas's contract negotiations are the equivalent to the United States policy on not negotiating with terrorists. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I appreciate the passion. God. I have a friend of mine that actually got fired by a respected news outlet because he did a radio interview during the whole Deshaun Watson saga. And he said that the Watson camp basically has a policy with the women who were accusing Deshaun of sexual misconduct that they don't, it's like the United States' policy on terrorists. They don't negotiate with them. And that cost him his job, which is crazy. So that happened. Andre Wilson says, I say Jermaine gets the first sack on Monday night to get the Jets defense going. Book it. Sign me up for that. All right, a little trivia, Jet fans. Who got the first sack on Josh Allen in the opener last year? Do you guys remember? Because I do. Let's see. Who in the chat will get it first? Who got the sack on Allen in the opener last year. First Jet to get the sack. Let's see if anyone's going to get it. So far, no one's gotten it. Nope. No one's gotten it. John Franklin Myers. Seeing a lot of Huff, JJ, Quinnen, Jefferson. Nope. It was JFM. Plumpy Boy, Asmaniac Super Chat. If Reddick's camp put out the disarray story from this morning, they are certainly terrorists in a way. I don't think that was Reddick's camp. I don't think CAA is operating that way. They represent Joe Douglas, too. More calls right now. We say hello to JT, who's up next. Hey, JT.
Yo, Jake. How you doing, man?
I'm living the dream, JT. I mean, the Jets football in 12 days. Who's got it better than us?
Dude, we're at the point where they're starting to put out some game previews for regular season games. Let's go.
It's happening.
You were speaking of JJ during the last call or right before my call, and I think JJ is going to have a huge season, man. I feel like he's in definitely for double-digit sacks. He had 10 or 11 last year, right? Or did he have just under 10?
I think he had 7.5 last year.
7.5. Yeah, I think he's going to have over 10. I think we see a true breakout, and I think we see a leap from Will McDonald as well. I'm not sitting here saying we don't need Reddick at all because he would be great for our defense, but I think we'll be perfectly fine for the most part without him. I love our UDFAs as well. I'm not expecting them to record 5+ sacks, all of them, but I think we'll see them in some big situations where they'll make some big plays for us down the line, especially McKinley. I'm liking McKinley. First-round talent that just didn't work out with the Falcons. I'm loving it, man.
By the way, 11 days till Jet football. I said 12 by mistake.
11 days till you're partying at T-Squared with the Asmaniacs. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it.
What about week 2?
Week 2? You know what? I might have to. Let me see.
Week 1 and week 2. We need you there.
You know what? Week 2? Let me see what I can do. Week 2 should be fine. Week 2 should be fine.
1 o'clock game. A lot of people, I get it. It's a Monday night. If you're coming from far away, it may be tough to get to. I understand, but I know we still got to have 400 people for that one. Week 2 could be crazy too, though. Imagine they're 1-0. 1-0, and we got a 1 o'clock game against Will Levis and the Titans in week 2. We're picturing a 2-0 start, dare I say. Imagine
1-0, where we've destroyed the San Francisco 49ers 27-16 in San Fran week 1. I would love nothing more. JETS, Jets, baby. Let's go.
JT, appreciate the call. Jet Life looks good behind you with the new logos. Ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned that we're in the process of adding another channel emoji, or as we call them on this channel, Edgemo, for all the Asmaniacs out there. Fireman Ed Fridays will be a thing all Jet season long, so we got to get Ed his own emoji. This one was made by listener Joe Mike, who's made a bunch of our Asmaniac emojis. So if you want to help us add the Fireman Ed Edgemo for channel members, hit the join button and become a channel member for as little as $2.99, or turn on gift receipts, and someone might make it rain and gift you your own channel membership that gives you priority response in the comments. It gives you early access to shows, including Best of the Jake Asman Show, and gives you all the Edgemos, the badge, all that good stuff. According to my YouTube here, we are 37 channel members away from being able to add the Ed emoji. So we'll see how we do. Well, we're a little closer now. Luppy with a 5 spot of channel memberships, baby. Yeah, buddy.
Jets, let's go! Yeah!
Yeah, here we go. 5 members. Goody, Ron Gazan, Tyson Madlin, Chris Kern, Texas Toast. You guys are all officially channel members. Thank you, Luppy. The Lup Man delivers. Tim from Fishland. He's on the line. He always brings it with passion, with energy, the likes of which we haven't seen before. We say hello to Tim from Fishland right now. What's up, Tim?
Jake, what's going on, my man? Haven't seen you in a bit. Been busy as hell.
Tim, As long as you're ready, 11 days from now, it's all that matters.
Oh, I'm ready, and I think we're gonna trounce them, especially if Trent Williams isn't playing. That's another thing that a lot of people don't. They could sit there. Vegas could put the odds in San Francisco's. But you remember last year when San Francisco had that losing streak when Debo and Trent Williams were hurt.
I do. Yeah, I mean, and the Niners also they've a couple of years in their their run here where they've been one of the best teams. They've gotten off to some slow starts before. So, and also typically the team that loses in the Super Bowl is more susceptible to the Super Bowl hangover than the team that actually wins. So that's good for the Jets as well.
Yeah. And another thing, as far as what Joe D is saying and what he's been doing with the Reddick thing, I completely agree. One thing I was taught growing up as a kid is the one thing that you have as a man is your word. Okay, and when you renege on that, your word ain't worth shit. You're to me, in my personal opinion, you're a piece of shit of a human being. Okay, when you do that, that's worse than saying fuck it on a contract that you signed, in my opinion, because you're dealing in good faith. I remember what Douglas said about the Rodgers trade last year when they were trying to find and negotiate, and Green Bay was digging his heels, and they're like, "Oh, will you guys pivot somewhere else?" And he goes, "No, we want to deal in good faith." And that's upstanding men, you know what I mean, that are good on their word. And I believe like that when we traded JFM for that 6th round pick to Denver, his agency felt like, oh, well, we think we got them by the balls. And I think that the UFAs and Tack McKinley have gave the Jets leverage against him. So he can sit there and play this all he wants. The only issue I see that he could do is he could forfeit most of the money this year and then report 8 weeks left of the season and then play, and then he'd be released, which would suck. But I just don't see somebody giving up half of a $14.5 million contract. I just don't.
He's not getting traded. I don't see it. I think he eventually has to show up and play.
Well, no, he needs to put up numbers. He wants to get paid. The Jets aren't, especially since he reneged on this deal. The Jets might have paid him. They might have paid him. Okay, after this year.
Yeah.
But after this, I wouldn't give you crap. You're going to be a free agent next year. I'll go ahead and I'll draft somebody, or I'll sign somebody. I'll work on the guys we got here. Like I'm not dealing with somebody like that. But that's how I feel about that. And let's go Jets. I mean, I can't wait for next Monday night.
Tim, me too, man. Me too. Let's go. We're almost there, Jets fans. College football is back this weekend in full swing. 1 week from tonight, Chiefs, Ravens to start the year, and let's go. Let's go. Today's Jake Asman Show is presented by my friends at Huga House. If you want any of the hats from Huga House, including the one that Aaron Rodgers was rocking on his way into the Jet Giant game this past week, go to HugaHouse.com, use promo code Asman at checkout, and you'll get 15% off. So get the hat I'm wearing, get the hat Aaron Rodgers is always wearing at HugaHouse.com, promo code Asman for 15% off. Hit the like button if you just joined. More importantly, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subscribe, baby. You can do so by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side, right by my microphone. That easy. We say hello to Indy Jets, who is up next on the show today. What's up, Indy?
Hey, Jake. Hey, to touch base on on what day Haason Reddick will show up. I'm 100% with you. I've been studying through the CBA, and let me get my notes here. I had to take some notes on this. If he misses just one game, he loses 25% of his contract. If he misses more than 4 games, he loses 100% of his contract. Up to 100%. So I agree with you that he's already lost $4.5 million. If he just misses one game, that in itself is another $3.5 million. Just that they don't have to pay him. So I think that, but he has to show up in camp by Sunday, by this coming Sunday. He has to be there the Sunday before the first game.
Well, they're off all weekend, so I'm not sure how that works. I think it's the Monday after Labor Day when they're back.
Well, according to the CBA, he has to be on the roster, so to speak, as of the Sunday prior to the first game. So if nobody's there at the facility on Saturday and Sunday, he's going to have to do this he'll have to do that on Friday. I'm sure that if he walked into the facility on Sunday and said, "Okay, I'm here," somebody will be there at the facility.
See, I don't know the specifics on that exact, because it's different for the Jets because they play on Monday night. So like each week in the NFL, there's a line of demarcation for when the previous week ends and you go into the next week. Samini was reporting that was September 2nd or the 3rd. So it's either Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's what I'm operating under.
Well, I was going by what the CBA just calls out the Sunday prior to the game. So it doesn't say, 6. I thought it was 6 days or whatever it was, but it specifically called out the Sunday prior to the game. So if your game is on Saturday, it's still Sunday. If the game's on Monday, it's still Sunday. From what I understood.
God bless you for reading the CBA. All I know is it behooves him to show up and play. Otherwise, he's going to lose a lot of money. What exactly that amount is, all I know is the game checks start flowing if he's not there.
Yeah, so I agree with you that we'll see him. I think we'll see him this week.
I agree. Andy, great call, man. Great call. Appreciate it. I got your email as well. I'll respond later when I get a minute. It's been a crazy morning with the Douglas presser. Ladies and gentlemen, Purple Belt Mike, who's one of my longtime listeners, he first heard me on ESPN New York, and he said, I like this guy. I'm going to watch on YouTube. And now he's a regular. He goes, my membership just expired. Here's what we need to have happen immediately. If you're the Jake Asman Show listener who gifts Purple Belt Mike his channel membership, I'm going to send you an item from my merch store. A merch store, the likes of which we've never seen quite before. jakeasman.com/shop, obviously. But if you want a hat, maybe a tank top inspired by Charles Gorman, maybe a coffee mug, a bucket hat, Asmaniac logoed hats, polo shirt, I'm going to send you something. The only way you get it is if you're the person who gifts PBM his channel membership. Sound good? I mean, come on now. Chicken Jenkins writes in, Bonesy phone mic quality should cost him his calling privileges. Look, I love Mr. Bonesy. He's one of the few people I will put up with that does not have an iPhone, though. Because his calls, the audio sucks because he's not using an iPhone. He's using an Android. That's the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, Plumpy Boy is getting in on the gift of giving. He has gifted one channel membership to listener John Reed. So we say, hello, John Reed. You are a channel member. Boom. Oh, boy. Now it's flowing. Ladies and gentlemen, Dre Correa, Dre in the office, has gifted a 10 spot of memberships. Hey, Dre, is Brock Purdy going to be running for his life in the opener?
Is Brock Purdy going to run for his life on the opener? Yeah! He's going to die. Let's go. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go.
Yeah, buddy. We got 10 from Dre, but wait. There's more. Rob Basil dropping a 10 spot of channel memberships for the people.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
10 spots. So we got 20 names to read off, which we are going to do right now. If you hear your name called, you're an Asmaniac. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Winston Grant, Tom Fitz, NY Jets for Life, Gary Bauer, Aaron Mulholland, Frank M., Carmine, Ansi Guerrera, Will Weber, Kixleys, Sean McNeil, Jason Jets, Paul Klein, Jeff Life, Joe Mike. Joe Mike is the one who made the Fireman Ed emoji that we're looking to add if we hit the membership threshold to add it. Ralph Q. JETS. But wait, we're not done. Jordan Griffin. Andrew Brunswick, Tony Stark, Iron Man, Dave Baladanza. What's up, Dave? You guys are all channel members, but we're not done, folks. Indy Jets, who just called into the show, is like, oh, I want to help. I love the people. I want to get the membership. Well, guess what, Indy Jets? You did.
Oh, nice.
Here we go. And Indy Jets' channel membership went to the following listener. Let's see. It's actually not popping up. I don't know where it went. We have too many memberships. I think I already read whoever got Indy Jets' membership, so that's why. Hold on. Dre's not done. Folks, this is crazy. 63 memberships on the first show. We haven't even had Boy Green on yet to lose his gosh darn bananas later. This is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 more channel memberships from Dre. If you don't have a membership right now, it's because you don't have gift receipts turned on, or you haven't subscribed to this channel or liked the video. Click on Dre's name right now in the comments and hit turn on gift receipts if you haven't already.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him, and I shoot all you motherfuckers, and then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Here we go. Green Gang 365, Hermo Patel, Brandon A, Sonny Miller, Anthony Cook, all channel members. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Purple Belt Mike not get a single membership out of like the 20 names I just read there? No way that's possible. I'm going to stay on longer until PBM hopefully gets a membership. I'm going to give it my best go. All right, I'm going to try and gift a membership here. Stand by. All right. I'm going to do my part. I see Sluggo goes, how do you gift membership? So instead of hitting the super chat button, right, hit the money sign on the right, and then there's an option that says gift memberships. You got to do it from the laptop, though. I don't believe iPhone, you could use it from the comp. That's the one caveat. You got to do it from the laptop. Purple Belt Mike did not get a membership. Look, he has no badge next to his name. He's naked right now. All right. Now, this was maybe a different listener of mine. This would maybe be a good thing, but not for Purple Belt Mike. Can't have that. Now, what I need to do is get my YouTube to load here so I could gift 5 spots right now. Here we go. 5 memberships. I'm gifting it. We're making it happen because Purple Belt Mike is in need of our help. Ladies and gentlemen, a 5 spot of channel memberships has just been gifted by the very host of this show. Those memberships are going to 5 esteemed listeners who deserve it. And when I gift memberships, I get to play a video of my choice. So I'm playing this one.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to this republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will find out if Purple Belt Mike got his membership. Stephen B., Christopher Wheeler, Max Stiles, Keith Kirkwood, Jose Colon Jr. Nope. No PBM. Show must go on. Show must go on. Here's what we're going to do. For those just tuning in, we'll do a bit of a reset here. Phone lines remain open. For those of you tuning in late, let me get caught up on this one super chat here, and then I'm going to play you the Joe Douglas comments again. We'll come back. We'll talk a little longer on the other side. Green Empire Lawn Care says, let's not forget all the top QBs. They had their worst games against this defense. I think we'll beat the Niners by at least 2 touchdowns. Jets defense is excellent without Reddick, Green Empire Lawn Care. But let's also be fair. Part of their success last year is because Bryce Huff was here. JFM was here. Al Woods was here. You're replacing a lot of those guys. Reddick is supposed to replace Huff. So, yes, they still have a very good defense, and they won games last year without Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed against the Eagles. Like, they could coach defense, and they got a lot of talent with or without Reddick. But my point is simply, don't just bank on the defense being great no matter what, because you're still trying to replace some really good players that you let walk in free agency, where you traded for a bag of balls, a.k.a. JFM for a 6th-round pick, salary dump. So let's not forget that. Hit the like button if you're tuned in right now. For those who missed it, this was Joe Douglas being asked 3 separate questions about Haason Reddick earlier today.
So where do things stand with Haason Reddick right now?
Nothing's changed from our end. Obviously, a ton of respect first on, and awaiting his arrival, and looking forward to when he does. He's going to be welcomed with open arms.
Do you expect him to be here before the opener?
I can't lay out any expectations right now, but when he does arrive, we're all going to be excited.
How would you describe the communication with him and his team?
I would say clear and direct from the beginning, and I have a lot of respect for the agent as well. Again, the ball's in their court, and whenever he's ready to come here, again, we can't wait to have.
Why didn't you renegotiate the contract before executing the trade?
Well, I mean, in simple terms, we did talk about an extension once one wasn't agreed upon. We had the conversation and we felt good about making the trade. And so, obviously came here, reported, had a great day here, and again, we're just waiting his arrival.
Do you feel like their camp reneged on a verbal agreement to play under his existing contract?
I'd say that again, from our standpoint, we've been really clear and direct with our communication, and again, a lot of respect for the agent, a lot of respect for the player, and I have faith that this will all give results.
From the general manager himself. Once again, the key takeaways, I believe, is what he said at the end there, where he basically talked around it. But the Jets feel they made it very clear to Reddick, hey, you show up, we can talk about your contract, and they feel like he reneged on that agreement. Douglas is telling you that. Nothing changed on our end. Looking forward to his arrival. Welcome him with open arms. Talks about having respect for the player and the agent. He's just trying to say the right thing, but Jets have not changed their stance. That much is clear. NY Cursor getting in on the gifted membership parade. Buddy, here we go. 5 more members. Sal Santa Afa, JD, Jack Mills, Jet Base Girl, Eric Stone, all channel members. Purple Belt Mike did not get a membership there. Wow. Show will continue. I have no choice. We say hello to V8 the Great, who's up next. If you want to call into the show, we got open lines. What's up, V8?
What's up, Jake? How you doing today?
We're living the dream, V8. What's going on?
Hey, man. I don't know if you talked about this already. I just tuned in. What do you think about Josh Allen being the #1 overrated player, according to the NFL players?
Well, it's interesting because it was only voted on by 103 players, and I think it was like 11 people voted for him, and Hurts and Tua were not that far behind. They were tied for second. So I don't put a ton of stock into it. Like, I think Josh Allen is a really, really good quarterback. I think a couple of years ago, people were trying to anoint him into like the Mahomes class, and I thought that was ridiculous then. It looks even sillier now after what Mahomes has done. If I'm doing like a tiers of quarterback like Mike Sando does in The Athletic every year, I think Mahomes is in his own tier. I think tier 2 would be like Burrow, Allen, Lamar, Rodgers. Like that's kind of where I would put everyone. You know what I mean? Like I don't think Josh Allen is overrated. I think he's very, very good. I think he was overrated a couple of years ago, but I think if you like be objective, like if not Mahomes, like you're taking Allen, Burrow, like he's right on that next level, you know?
Yeah, I feel it. Because I was talking to my group chat, and we were I guess we all basically agreed with you, because my thing is he's more of like Phillip Rivers. And you know how like Tom Brady, his Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes' Peyton Manning could honestly be considered Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow's beat him in the playoffs, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Burrow, if healthy, I think is like a tier 1 guy. He's not, Mahomes is like so much better than everyone, but like Burrow's the one guy who's actually beaten Mahomes head to head a couple times. So
he's
that's
not
gotta
scared
matter.
of him.
Yeah.
He's not scared of him.
That's gotta matter. I mean, Burrow went into Arrowhead and won a playoff game. Like Allen couldn't do it. Lamar couldn't do it. Like these guys had chances to beat them in their buildings this past year with a depleted Chiefs offensive roster, and they couldn't get it done.
Just tells you how good Mahomes is. Jake, I joined your club. You'll never guess who blocked me on Twitter.
Give me a hint.
Aaron Rodgers is a cancer.
Oh, Chris Canty blocked you?
He blocked me because I called him a clown for his statements, and that, I basically said, Bart Scott called you out. How are you going to accept? How are you going to take it? Because everyone's saying that who hurt you on the Jets, and he blocked me. So, I say you get him on the show, and then me and him can have a little debate if he's man enough to do it. So, yeah.
V8.
But, hey, Jake, love the
tuned.
call. You have a great day.
You too, V8. I appreciate that's funny. I can't believe he blocked you for that. He blocked you for that. I mean, come on, man. You got to have a little thicker skin than that.
This guy is a cancer that's metastasized throughout the entire building in Florham Park. And I don't know why Jets fans can't see it.
Because we're not stupid, Chris. You watch that Aaron Rodgers mic'd up video? You see the amount of Giants players that are coming over to Rodgers just to shake his hand and say how much they respect him? There were like 7 different Giants in a 6-minute video that they showed, stopping what they were doing to go up to Aaron Rodgers and just acknowledge how great of a football player the guy is. And the one guy on the Giants, I forget the player's name, he was like, I grew up in Chicago. I hated you, man. That was a funny moment. Like, come on now. Guy's a cancer. Ask any Jet coach or player about Aaron Rodgers. Go listen to what Brees or Garrett have said about him or Sauce. And then come back to me. Calling the guy a cancer. Clown. Clown comment. John LG checks in. What's up, John? Does Reddick's holdout salary count against the cap? No. Reddick, his $14.5 million does not count with the cap right now. Could JD get both Reddick and Adams around the trade deadline and pay half a season to each? They could get Devontae whatever happens, regardless what happens with Reddick. Yeah. One has nothing to do with the other. They have room to fit both. And I'll say it again. If Devontae Adams gets traded, I believe he'll be a Jet. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue. Johnny Boy is on the line. Hello, Johnny.
Yo, what up, Jake? How you
Great
holding
hat. I have a funny feeling you maybe used promo code Asman to get it discounted.
Oh, I did, man. Dude, I saw that new one you got, that Navy joint.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I can't find it. Like
sold out. Yeah, go on the wait list, and when you'll get notified when they restock it.
I definitely got to cop that one, bro. That one's fire. Dude, these are one of the most comfortable hats, man, and the brim and the way it fits, and I got a big head, bro. So it's awesome, man. I appreciate you on putting me on to the hats, bro. I couldn't talk right now. Hey, just want to come up here real quick and let everybody know that Jake has an angelic singing voice. If you guys do not know this, check him out. My man got some pipes. No homo on that, but he could sing it out, man. He could belt them out. So special shout out to Bobby. Yo. I wanted to come up here real quick, Jake, and say, happy birthday to Bobo and whatnot. Jake, you're killing it. And I'm glad that what you stated on the Haason Reddick stuff, because it's the truth. If he comes over here, he plays with us another level, man. So people that don't want the dude here and are like, y'all bugging out. I mean, I get it. He hasn't done anything for us yet, but he doesn't need to prove anything, man. I mean, 4 years, 11 sacks consistently. Which Jet has ever done that? You know what I'm saying? So
he's a phenomenal player. And if he does show up and eventually play, when he has a huge sack that's going to help the Jets win a game, there's going to be people saying, I'm buying my Reddick jersey. Like Hassan's awesome. Like, all is forgiven. Like, we just want to win, man. And this guy helps winning. People are going to quickly forget about everything they said.
Exactly. But Jake, man, I appreciate you again, man. Go cop the hats. They're dope. They're awesome, man. Happy birthday to Bobby. And hey, Jake, man, we can't wait to hear you sing some more, bro.
Johnny, I appreciate you. I'll be singing for Bobby later, but that will be on the 4:30 Eastern show today. Rich wants to know, is Johnny's wife pregnant yet? She might be, honestly. We know Johnny loves to have kids. He's the Antonio Cromartie of the Asmaniacs. Stack has gifted a channel membership. Listener James Hobbs is the recipient of the membership. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest Joe Douglas truther has called back in. Hello, Bonesy.
Hey, am I still sound like a robot?
You sound a lot better.
Okay. All right. Well,
Was it your
I already
headphones?
told you. Yeah, I just I restarted it and I changed some stuff in StreamYard because I think I had like echo on and some other shit. So, but my brother said he heard me on his thing and it was terrible. So I'm like, oh shit, it's real. And everyone was saying in the chat it was bad. So I just wanted to fix that. And happy birthday, Bobby, again. And thanks for letting me on. So now I know I'm back because everybody was really complaining pretty bad.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And hey, earlier you mentioned how if someone comes, to the job disgruntled and you don't like your boss, you can't perform well. But if you put it in terms of imagine Margot Robbie is at work every time you go, aka Aaron Rodgers in football terms. Even though you hate your boss, if you're there with Margot Robbie, it's probably going to be a good time,
Look, you know how I feel about Margot. I just think at the end of the day, the best thing for Haason Reddick is to play football. But there's also a human element involved in this, right? Like if he gets something out of all this, they guarantee his money, give him some incentives. Like the incentives are a good thing, by the way, because they're going to be tied to team success and him having a lot of sacks, which will help the team win. Like these are good problems to have. All right. Hit the like button if you're tuned in. Open phone lines for those who want to call in. We're back at 4:30. Purple Belt Mike is still without a membership, which is disappointing. But we are within, I think, 15 channel members of the Ed emoji going live. So that is a good thing. Let me say this again for those who are tuning in, maybe didn't see yesterday's show. Yesterday, I announced our lineup of weekly guests on this show. And I am so excited about some of the names that we have locked in during the week. All right. So for those who know this show, we go live after every game for a post-game show. That is our most viewed piece of content every week. Hopefully those shows are a lot of fun this year to host after a lot of wins. All right. So that's Sunday. Unless the Jets play on Monday night, in which case we go live Monday night or Thursday night. You get the point. Here are the guests throughout the week. Monday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we bring on my good friend, Joe B.
Here it is. Little Victor Cruz dance. Oh, Victor. Woo. We're doing a little salsa, baby. Yeah. Woo.
Joe's become a friend. Me, him, and Kenny from Staten Island. We're at the Jet Giant game all together. Joe will be joining us every Monday at 10 a.m. on this channel. His first appearance will be Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. because the Jets play Monday Night Football, of course, to start the year. Later that day, Will Parkinson from the Turn on the Jets podcast will join us again on Mondays for the third season in a row at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Fast forward to Tuesdays at 10 a.m. We'll be joined by Robbie Sabo of Jets X Factor. Fast forward to 4 p.m. Tuesday afternoons. Andrew Fialco of JetX will join us for the film review, where he'll break down the All-22 from the previous Jets game. Wednesdays at 4 p.m., we'll be joined by Jeff Parles, who was with us last year throughout the season. My good friend, big Jet fan, does betting content in Vegas. Fast forward to Thursdays at 10 a.m., we'll be joined by Jets beat reporter Nick Faria. Fast forward to Friday. We're calling it Fireman Ed Fridays because Fireman Ed will join us every Friday at 10 a.m. to get you set for the upcoming Jets game. 4 p.m. on Fridays, we will be joined by someone who knows a thing or two about doing a post-game show.
So we're going to get into all of it here. Again, my name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We come 2 hours after every final whistle here for the post-game show. And I'm going to be honest. The only good thing that happened to me late tonight, early this morning, was making sweet, passionate love to my fiance, which I did. after the article was written and that kind of stuff. That's the only good thing that happened. Not great. Terrible.
Well, Fridays at 4 will be fantastic with Boy Green. Can't wait. By the way, for the Beningo fans out there, Joe is having me guest host his podcast at the Hackensack Brewing Company on September 20th. So if you're in Jersey, come meet me and Joe B. We're doing a show together at the Hackensack Brewing Company. Who needs a house out in Hackensack? Billy Joel, huh? We'll be doing that on September 20th. So I'm looking forward to that.
I hate this team. I hate them. I hate them.
Last chance to get in on the show. We could use some more memberships for Purple Belt Mike, but maybe the gifting gods, it's not meant to be. Maybe it's not. That's No Ghost says, Jake, your guest list is undefeated, like the Jets after they beat the Bills week 6 on Monday Night Football. If the Jets are 6-0, oh my God. Oh my God. I can't imagine. I've never seen that in my lifetime, I don't think. 2004, they were 5-0, right? Like the Jets, 2010, they got off to a 9-2 start, but they lost week 1. When was the last time the Jets were 6-0 in a season? Anyone know? 98, they weren't. They obviously started 0-2 before they then rattled off all those wins to finish 12-4. They went 12-2 after an 0-2 start. 98 Jets. Tom A says, I'll be there September 20th. Jersey has Maniacs assemble. There you go. Dean says the Jets were never 6-0. In their entire history, they've never been 6-0 once. What about the 86 season? Or 85? You know, that's what I wonder. NY Cursor says, if the Jets are 6-0, a lot of us are getting arrested at T squared. I can't even imagine, man. You kidding me? I can't. Ladies and gentlemen, our last caller is one of our favorites. He represents New York City as well as anyone. He represents the Jet fan base as well as anyone. He is one of the great voices in the history of this program. We say good afternoon to the great Phenom. What's up, Phenom?
Wow. Thanks for the intro, Jake. Just want to say the party at T Square was great. I'll be in Vegas for the next one, but I send you guys my best. All the love and support that you got and all the love that I got showing up. So just a great event. If you guys go to that watch party, it'll be epic. It'll be epic, no question.
Going down.
Even if I'm not there, it'll still be epic.
Well, Phenom, we have one week 2 as well for the Titans game. So if you're back from Vegas by then, week 2 for the Titans game.
I'm actually going to the Titan game coming back from Vegas.
Even better.
So we'll hook up at some point again. Getting back to football, I hate the business of football. I would rather just have everybody line up, sing Kumbaya, and let's play the ball games. But that's not it. These guys are trying to get paid, and I'm not necessarily mad at them being rank and file. Over the years, I was rank and file. So I understand you got to get your money, while it's available. Yet you have to honor your contract and do the right thing. So it's a mixed bag, really, isn't it? So, but we're on the real football now. So that's the great part. San Francisco, there might be some kinks in their armor. We have a chance to take those guys down,
Yep.
So we'll see. But would an elite pass rusher help in this game? Of course. So I know I'm all over the place. I'm trying to have some balance here. I don't want to wig out yet. So there I am. That's it.
It's going to be a fun year, my man. It's going to be a fun year.
No question. Look forward to hooking up with you again, Jake. Thanks for all the love and support.
Phenom, you are phenomenal, my man. Appreciate you. Phenom was great. When he walked in, place went nuts for Phenom at T Squared for our preseason watch party. So we have 4 total watch parties confirmed right now. The first 2 are week 1 and week 2. I'll announce week 3 or our third one and fourth one when it's finalized. But the first 2 are locked in. But we're going to have at least 2 more after the first 2. And then we'll add more based on how the Jets are doing, right? It's going to be wild. I promise you that. Hey, shout out to Rob here. He just wrote in, I'm still recovering from my car accident. Wouldn't be able to do this without the show. And my Asmaniacs, salute to all yours. Rob, hope you get better, man. Sorry to hear that, but just know we're thinking about you. Feel better, man. Feel better. All right. This has been a wild show. Boy Green's coming on this afternoon, a day earlier than normal due to some schedule stuff. So because of that, it's going to be wild when he comes on. Good God. It's also Bobby Midnight's birthday. So we hear from the birthday boy, I'd imagine, during our second show later today. So I'm looking forward to all that and much more. My name is Jake Asman. Do me a huge favor and join the Patreon. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. You heard Phenom say he's going to Tennessee. So are a lot of Asmaniacs. You want to connect with them, find out about Jet-related events going on that weekend. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. You join the Discord channel that's included in your membership. And you'll see we have a tab for each game where people are connecting, getting in touch with one another, and making plans throughout the season. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. It's the best way to support me as I continue to make this YouTube gig my full-time job moving forward. All right. I want to thank you all for your incredible support. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. And look, I screamed at Gary many times over the course of this show. Today I didn't because I didn't feel like it. But that doesn't mean I won't give you a little Gary versus me to wrap it all up. Have a good one, everybody. Go Jets. What about your take yesterday that the Jets have it's the most talented roster they've had since '98?
I agree with that.
Right.
I said that. Yeah.
But why is Douglas such a bad GM then?
Because he's 27 and 56. Joe, that's who you're referring to?
Right, but how could it be so bad at his job if they have the most talented roster since the last time they won 12 games in a season?
Because they got Aaron Rodgers to come here, just like Cleveland got LeBron James to go there. That's not great GMing, right? Like you get a guy at that level to agree to come here. That's pretty obvious, right?
No, that actually is the very definition of good GMing because Rodgers picked the Jets because he thought he could win here.
I mean, that must have been amazing. To be able to tell that guy, Aaron Rodgers, was going to be good. I mean, that's amazing.
Gary,
it's not like he's got 4 MVPs or anything.
Gary, no one's saying Joe Douglas created Aaron Rodgers and made him what he is. He built the team that Rodgers wanted to play for. That's what we're saying.
And the Jets had the cap space to go get him.
No,
and the willingness to go trade the picks to go get him.
Okay,
I understand how he got here. I get it.
Yeah, but you're glossing over the fact. Yeah, you're glossing over the fact that if the Jets did not have a good team, he would have went somewhere else. You conveniently leave that out.
Frustrating about Jet fans. 27 and 56.
You're going to say the record over and over again. It's not good enough, Gary. The record was not good enough this past year. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers got hurt on play 4. They would not have went 7 and 10 if he was healthy. That's the point. Last year was supposed to be the make the playoffs or fire people year. Unfortunately,
every year's supposed to be
no, it's not. Not in 2021, coming off a 2-14 season when you had a first-year head coach, a first-year quarterback, and a first-time play caller. It was a rebuilding year. That's what happened.
Newton make the playoffs in his first year.
Gary,
did
stop.
C.J. Stroud make the playoffs in his first year?
C.J. Stroud
did Andy Dalton make the playoffs in his first year?
What?
This is not that hard to make the playoffs. It's such a
goodbye. You're a fool, Gary. I cannot take your stupidity. Shut up. You're wrong. Had Bryce Young do, Gary. Had Trevor Lawrence do, year 1. Oh, my God. Most rookies don't make the playoffs in year 1. Now with a first-year head coach and a first-time play caller. The Texans situation is not even comparable. C.J. Stroud had the greatest rookie season a quarterback has ever had. You are wrong. Stop saying facts that aren't facts, but because you say it loud, they're like, oh, the record, oh, I'm Gary. You're wrong, dude. You are wrong. No, the expectation every year is to not make the playoffs in the NFL. You really think year 1 with Saleh, the expectation was to make the playoffs? Really? They were coming off a 2-14 season where they had the worst point differential in franchise history. And you wanted the Jets off 2-14 with Gase, with year 1 of Saleh, year 1 of Zach Wilson, year 1 of Mike LaFleur to make the playoffs. That is asinine. Asinine. Douglas has a job because Rodgers got hurt on play 4. That's why he has a job. That's it. If he didn't get hurt and they went 7-10 last year, he wouldn't be the GM. The record's not good enough, but there's context to it that you ignore every goddamn time. So I'm sick of it. Stop. There's context to it. Stop saying the record. We know it's not good enough. You know what also is not good enough? Not understanding how to actually apply nuance to a conversation. God, I can't do it anymore, man. I cannot do it anymore. It's the same crap every day.
But we start with the quarterback. All right, I'm going to get into it. We'll take your calls. I'm sure the Zach truthers will try and make excuses for Zach Wilson. Enough. He sucked. He was god-awful. And tonight was Zach Wilson's last start as the Jet quarterback ever. Barring injury, he's done. I'm sorry. I hate saying it. It's not personal. He seems like a nice kid. He's not the answer. He's not. Sorry. I don't want to hear any other takeaway from this game. You want to blame the offensive line? Sure, blame them. They were not good tonight. You want to blame the defense? That's the laziest take, and we're not allowing it. The defense allowed 19 points. That's a bad effort. They're on the field the entire game because this quarterback stinks. And I like Zach Wilson. I've defended Zach Wilson. I've tried to be patient with Zach Wilson, but it's enough. Zach Wilson truthers, he stinks. The guy is terrible. He stinks. All right? Stop defending him. He's got the lowest passer rating in the NFL this season. The lowest completion percentage in the NFL this season. He had the lowest passer rating in the NFL last season. He had the lowest completion percentage in the NFL last season. He hasn't gotten better. I was patient with Zach because he does have talent. Because he does have potential. But it's not working. It is not working. He is not the guy. This team is too good to be 7-8. All right, this defense had a, quote, bad game. They gave up 19 points. 19. How dare the defense do anything? Come on, man. The quarterback stinks. He's not the guy. He has not improved. He has not gotten better. He is the same quarterback we saw last year. I defended him last year because we saw flashes. You see that from rookies. Then they get better. You know who got better? Trevor Lawrence got better. All right, watching some of the throws he made tonight. You know who got better? Justin Fields got better. Zach Wilson hasn't gotten better, period. You need your quarterback to make plays. They had 3 points against a Jaguars defense that allows over 23 a game. They're a bottom third defense. You're at home. Your season's on the line. And you scored 3 freaking points. Enough. I'm not dealing with the Zach Wilson truthers. If you're a Zach Wilson truther, you're out. You're not on the show. You're gone. We're not doing it. If your takeaway from this game is not that the quarterback is holding this team back, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. Seek help. I know I need help because I sat in MetLife and I'm going to have pneumonia from this garbage. Enough. I'm tired of it, man. This team is too good to be 7-8. They were 6-3. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. They have everything in place besides a franchise quarterback. And I don't know if Mike White's the guy, but I know he gives the team a better chance to win the last 2. And then I'll bring him back, and I'll bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, or I'll beg for Aaron Rodgers to come here, or I'll beg Derek Carr to come here. I don't know, but I do know the answer is not you run it back with Zach Wilson because, Jake, he needs more time. Enough. He's not playing well. He's playing awful right now. And the second any quarterback comes in, the offense magically looks better. Explain that. Oh, but it's Mike LaFleur's fault. Stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Enough.
I do love that about Jets fans. You know what I mean? They care so damn much. And this has been a shit season for sure. But we will be back.
Hell yeah.